Hello everyone, welcome back to D1 Crashout. This is following the video I just made, so fun triple upload for you all. But this is going to be describing a very common problem solving process, honestly, which is just guess and check. So you try something, it doesn't work, and then you try something else, you get feedback, and you try again. And you just keep doing that. And that's a completely normal thing to do. It's an implementation of binary search, if you will, right? You check the ends basically, and then you go somewhere in the middle. See, oh, am I too small? Am I too high? And then you keep on precising until you eventually find it. Like that is a good example of extremism, where there is a fallacy of thinking in extremes where like, okay, this person doesn't love me and therefore they must hate me. You're just completely ignoring the fact that there is a fat middle ground of things that could exist. So for example, hey guys, it all sometimes comes back down to relationships. Again, not just romantic, relationships in general. So you're trying to develop a relationship with someone, and then you're like, do you like spending time with me? And they might say no, or they might say yes, or they might say not, I don't hate it. They could say so many other things in between, like, I enjoy this about you, but I don't enjoy this. And it is a completely normal thing to like some part of something and not like every single part of that very thing, right? You know, if you want to become successful in life, you might want to pursue a job. And a part of pursuing a job is having somebody else tell you what to do. You may not like somebody telling you what to do, but you might like the work that you actually get assigned. You might like the people at your workplace. You might like the work in general. But to say that just because somebody talked negatively about their job means that they hate their job, no, they just don't like this one part and that part stuck with them and they tend to highlight it because focusing on the negatives is a good way to approach problem solving. That's why teaching people gratitude is a genuinely useful and helpful skill, because sometimes people get so lost in the negativity, so lost trying to improve themselves that they never actually think about the things that they enjoy or the fun parts of it. I think this really highlights a difference that I've personally noticed between men and women, where a lot of men just see things as problem solving. Like every time you hear something, like we're solving problems, and I do this too. I personally enjoy having friends that are curious and also logically inclined, because whenever I talk to them, we all have that preconception that what we are there to do is solve problems if somebody was to ever crash out. But that is not true for all my male friends. I got one homeboy and he is very emotionally intelligent, and when he talks, when he speaks, we have a communication error because I don't default to I'm going to hear things from an emotional standpoint. I'm going to hear and listen to you, and I'm not going to provide feedback to help you align your views, your values, whatever, to help you solve whatever you're presenting to me. He just wants to be heard. He just wants to get those feelings out. He doesn't want to bottle things up, and that's completely normal. But that is more common amongst women. And whoa, you grow up with women in your life. That's crazy. But often, I was never talked to or asked for quote unquote advice and or as a medium to actually help them solve their problem. More often than not, and I've talked about this in a different video about advice and right, people already know what they should be doing. But some of the ramifications of being a better person and actually improving your life and trying to improve your life is that it's difficult and it's not easy and it's not something that comes naturally, and sometimes even when you try to be better, things still don't go your way because people hold you to your past, and it's a sucky feeling, and people just want to get that out into the universe, feel heard, maybe have a sense of belonging, maybe it's relatable, or they just want support from somebody because people are better together. And I could talk about the genealogy of that, who cares. The bottom line is that not all people see life as see that advice or that as a opportunity to problem solve. Some people just want to vent, and that's completely normal. But if you apply that thinking in extremes, where it's like you either have to vent or you have to be super logically inclined and oriented, you are going to become me and corner off your friend group and your people a lot at some point in your life. And that's fine. Maybe you don't want anything more or those different kinds of people in your life, but yes, it is also to say that it is something that people find a balance in. People don't want to always be living between these two extremes, but we like to apply it to a lot of things, like action. You either do something or you don't do something, right? You either believe in this, you stand on this really far side of something, or you stand on this other side, because it makes decision making significantly easier, right? We eat at the food spot or we don't eat at the food spot. People don't like when you just go to a plaza and then you have a bunch of different people going to different directions. Like, they like that sense of togetherness. Or you have this political party's views, or you don't have this political party's views. When we made computers, it was all about, okay, this thing is on or this thing is off. Now we have qubits, and you have your value somewhere in between until it's observed. Like, that's a difficult concept, right? It's not natural, and it's not easy, and extremism is easy to understand, and it's also a natural problem solving process. Okay, I put my hand near the fire, it hurts, it burns, it it hurts me. I'm gonna keep my hand far away from the fire. Super normal, super natural response for people to do, and it works. But it's not so simple with people. It's like, okay, I got this girl flowers and she didn't like it. I'm just never going to get a girl flowers ever again. And that'll solve my problem of facing that rejection, which is true, but also it could be keeping you away from potential greater opportunities between you and whatever girl you want to buy flowers for that might actually be looking for the flowers. I think it's also very common for people to not understand that there are two sides of a story. Like, okay, this person is pulling away from me, I should just give more. But did you consider the fact that the person didn't want more? Okay, now nobody ever wants more. I'm just not going to give anything up front, so I don't personally lose resources, and that other person, I don't have to worry if they gain anything or not. But if you want to maintain relationships and friendships, you have to invest in them. And it is super unsatisfactory to have solutions to problems that are on a spectrum. And unfortunately, that is a part of life. Things are not so simple as this or that. And that is the beauty of it. So, extremism, dangerous idea. Life is not black and white. A lot of in between. Learn what is black and white and learn what is not. And you do that by trial and error. And you precise, and you find a point, and you go as a person. Big whoop. Thanks for listening, and I'm going to go to sleep. Have a nice night.